UP detector milepost 249.9.
You know, I really hate whenever there's an update and I turn my microphone on and start talking, nothing's being recorded. So, anyway, what's up, everybody? This is Kurt H. I am the Lazy Farmer and recording another video here. Run 8. We are on the Lazy Farmer beer, TLF beer. I don't know what the official name of this place is, but this is a collaboration between me and Kung Fu Beer. Um, Setting up a NorCal server just simply because they don't have one for the depot, and apparently they don't like it. They don't think there's enough industries. There's actually quite a few industries. I would say Sparks, which we're coming into here, is kind of a little, the way it's set up is kind of like a little mini San Bernardino. There's about 6 different locals that run out of Sparks. 4 different locals that run out of Roseville. One of them goes down the Valley Sub. I worked that one in its entirety not too long ago, and it literally took me 8 hours to, actually a little more than 8 hours, because I think I did 8 hours and I said, that's it, I've had enough, and I wasn't done with it. So yeah, probably didn't do it efficiently, but it's, you know, it's an option there. Let me get the fence down. So 40 miles an hour here through Spark. So we're doing 38. So we're doing good. So wow, I'm looking at this. Train length is 6,491 feet. We got 2 horsepower per ton. Trailing tons 11,142. This is the MOGRV number 4 supply train. So basically, what we're doing is we're setting up this server. For those people, there's a small little contingent of people that like Northern California. I happen to be one of those. I go up and over it every day. As a matter of fact, I think it's the 11th. My daughter's going to be here in town on the 9th, and so on the 11th. Well, I go back. She's coming in, dropping off the computer. That's going to be for the Mosel server that I'm setting up. I've got everything back in place on that. But now I'm thinking about changing it. I'll get into that later. But yeah, it's let's get up to 40. We're still doing 40 through the yard here. Some of these models and stuff look kind of weird until I get up to them. I'm not sure what's up with that. I've never noticed that before, at least not on my server. I was running the SoCal server off this machine that I'm on right now. It's still there. I might bring it up on the weekends. May put it over. May run both servers headless off the machine if my daughter's old machine can handle it. Let's get some. We're going uphill. We're going to start our climb here. That's why I'm like, why am I slowing down? And now I know why I'm looking. All right, let's get back up here. We're going to put the fence back up and give me a little extra throttle on that back on the rear end here. So, let me get out of this screen. I'm sitting here talking, and let me get to the live screen here. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I have a habit of doing that. It's all right. Hey, you know what? I make the mistake so you don't have to. We kind of fought with something, and basically this train was trying to get these trains to spawn out of the most eastern part of the map, which is out there by Hafed. And I created a new spawn point to get the max possible length train that we could get. And every time we went to go spawn a train, it wouldn't spawn. And I couldn't figure out why. Well, there's a setting when you go to create a new spawn point, and I was playing with it, and I set the setting to 0. It's a timeout setting. I set it to 0, and I didn't put it back, and that was preventing me from, well, quite frankly, from doing anything. So I could get the other supply trains to spawn in by Elkhorn, which is, you know, just before you come into Roseville. So they didn't go far enough west, in my opinion. Let's get back up here. We're just like barely creeping at 31. It's 40 miles an hour through here, so I mean, as long as I don't go over 40, I'm fine. But I like to get between, if it's 40 miles an hour, I like to do somewhere between 35 and 40. just in case I have a grade change and I get surprised by it. I don't exceed the speed limit. I can control it, but this is a different matter. And we're going to start climbing, making our climb here once we get through the trench here in Reno. Start making our climb up the Sierra Mountains to get over to Roseville. But yeah, anyway, that's what. In fact, I'll be doing that, taking the Amtrak. As a matter of fact, I'm making it a long trip. It's going to be almost a 9-hour trip for me. But I'm okay with that because I get to put my, kick my shoes off, put my feet up. I will go grocery shopping the day before. I'll purchase a bunch of snacks, bring them on there with me because I am not buying anything on the train because it's god awful expensive. But anyway, yeah, it's Reno to Martinez, California, and then Martinez to home, all on the train. And and it would have been a 6-hour trip, but it was like a 2.5-hour layover in Martinez. So, and I'm not expecting. I mean, I could take a look and see where it comes in, and so discussions are. I think we're pretty close. We have the tagging system in place. The industries have been changed over. The cars that are sitting at the industries have been changed over so that they go with the new tagging system. The tagging system is not hard. It's, instead of using prototypical tags, we're using some that might be a little less confusing to those individuals that are brand new to Run8. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring people in and get them encouraged to play Run8. Roseville map, Northern California, if you're looking for that virtual model railroad. My window open? Yeah, it is. I think Roseville might be the perfect one for you. So you got, road trains, which is what I'm doing now. And I'm going to record maybe like the first 2 hours of this, but it'll take about 4, maybe 5 hours to get over the mountain if we don't have any issues. Let me just double check something here. Trains, yeah, string line derailments, I do have those turned off. Those are issues. And trust me, those are issues that have caused me issues in the past. So, okay, we're doing 32. It's a 35-mile-an-hour zone here, but we are going downhill. So I'm going to come off of throttle a little bit. So we might be bleeding some momentum here, but that's okay. All right, DPU answered notch 4. I'm in notch 3. And you can kind of see how the trench dips down, and so kind of interesting. You can look down here by the boarding ramp for Amtrak is right there where this building, that's Amtrak. You can kind of see the boarding ramp right there. So that's the Amtrak station. So you come in street level, come down, take an elevator down, or walk down, or walk up, depending on what you're trying to do. Alright, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start notching up because we're down to 30 miles an hour. And once we come out of the trench, we're going to be like going uphill, and it's going to get steep. I think the steepest part of this is making the climb up out of Reno and up to Truckee. One of the most beautiful, though. It is gorgeous, but it's like 35 miles an hour anyway. So Reno. So, yep, I'll be leaving right from that station right there next week. So, all right, let me all right. So, just sorry, I was just chatting right there with my buddy Kung Fu Beer. All right, we're getting a little close. Let me back off here. We are climbing. It's like a 0.8%. 8%? No. 0.8%. What am I thinking? Almost 1% grade right now, so I'm notching up. I got I'm number 6 in the rear, 5 on the front. Okay, so the question, I'm looking at Discord right now, and yeah, I'm going to verbally say, and I said it already, the issue was when I created the spawn point. And the only thing that I can figure out, number one, the other 2 spawn points were already configured. But when I configured the spawn point, yes, it was set for spawn point, but there's an option in there for how long you want to train to, if it comes to that point, to wait. Well, spawn points don't have a wait set to them. They don't have a timer on them, but there's a timer available. And I played with it. I'm like, I don't think and my thought process in my pea brain, I'm losing a lot of, let me ramp up here. Hang on, let me, all right, 8 on the rear, 7 on the front. Let's see if we can't get, I'm looking at the accelerometer. Let's see if we can't get this thing going up the hill. Okay, I'm going to go full 8. Run 8. That's the name of the game. Run 8. Let's drop the fence. Since both rear, front and rear are on Run 8, so we're just going to start pushing hard. And it's going to probably stay like this all the way up the mountain. So anyway, going back to the spawn point, one of the options are when you create a spawn point, well, the process is, I'll just go over the whole process, is that when you go to create a spawn point, all you got to do is pick a locomotive, go in your train maker upper to be exact, okay, and just pick one locomotive. That's all you need. There's a button up there that says create spawn point. So if you click on that, and it slides over to the right, and the ghost of the locomotive that you chose appears, and you put it on the track where you want it. And then when you left click, it drops the locomotive, and that creates the spawn point. You'll get a box up in the upper right hand corner, and up there you can there's a drop down of what kind of spawn point you want it. Is it an actual spawn point, or is it a relinquish point? Is it a passenger relinquish point? Is it a crew change point? Well, crew change point, passenger relinquish points, or passenger points, those are the ones where you're going to set a timer how long you want the train to wait before it leaves, and the default is 3. Well, I was playing with it, and I set the default to 0, going, well, I really don't need this, so I'm just going to turn it off. Well, apparently you do need to have it in there. Why, I don't know. But when I created the spawn point, and then we moved that file, basically the 2 files over to the server, The spawn point showed up exactly as I labeled it, exactly where it was supposed to be. And it even showed that there was a train that if I clicked on spawn, it would randomly spawn the train there. Well, I clicked on it and nothing would happen. And so if I clicked again, I got the message, you have to wait X number of seconds to be able to click spawn again. So I'm like, okay, so I think that's where that timer has to be there, because by setting it to 0, I would click spawn and basically the game said, oh, you can't do it because there's already a train there, when there really wasn't. And then if I click spawn again, there was a little timeout spot before I could, click spawn again, because the game was thinking, oh, this train's going to get, it's a bullet train that's going to get out of here super fast. So the bottom line is, leave the timer alone. That's just it. And that's me saying that to me. Like I said, if I can find a way to create a problem, I will do it. And then it's about finding a way to find the solution, which I will not give up. I will do it. I did it. It's working. So we're good. So anyway, let me, we're going pretty good here. Let me hit my alerter real quick, and then I want a message. All right, so I know Beer's waiting. I will tell him it's just a long write-up, just in case somebody else wants to try to figure out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fence back up again, but I'm going to, because we're creeping up to 35 miles an hour. We're like at 0.7%. I'm not going to change throttle right now, because we're sitting, accelerometer says 0. It's bouncing back and forth between 0 and +1, so we're doing good. We're holding steady on the speed. Oh God, honestly, this is really a pretty map. It really is. And for me, that, growing up as a kid, man, I've been over this so many times. You've heard me tell the story before that I've got a family member that was a conductor for Southern Pacific, and so I got to ride this, and on Amtrak I got to ride in the locomotive from Emeryville, or Martinez. I think it was from Martinez or Emeryville. No, it was from Emeryville, because my godmother and my godfather lived in Hayward, California, which is there in the Bay Area. So we picked up the train in Emeryville. I got to ride in the locomotive from Emeryville to Roseville, and then of course I remember the guy was really mean. I was a little kid. He was very mean about, no, I don't want no kid in the cab with me. It was just the way he did it. He scared me, and that whole thing stuck with me. So I had to go back and ride with my godmother and my mom and my godmother. That's really what a little young man wants to do, as they're talking about who knows what, and I'm sitting there like I'm just bored of tears. But no, I wasn't, because I got to wander around the train. I wasn't good. This was back in the days, man. Nobody messed with you. I used to go wander around the trains. My godfather opened up one of the vestibule doors so I could actually look out. And as we're going up in the mountains, he told me, "Hey, man, don't stick your head out." Boy, he was right, because we went into one of the snow sheds, and man, I couldn't believe how close those beams were. So. But anyway, this is just about what it looks like when you come down. or if you go up, and we're going to pick up over here. They'll be on our left-hand side. We're going to pick up the Truckee River. It's coming out, which that river comes out of South Lake Tahoe. And so it's really, really pretty. I mean, and then of course the last time I took this trip, I was sitting on that side of the train to where I can see the river. And when I leave Reno, I'll be sitting on the left-hand side of the train again, because they don't show it that much in here, but there are a lot of houses along here and along the river. And there was, oh, we're speeding a little bit. I need to drop off the notch just a little bit. Yeah, it's not as steep. It's being a lot, actually. I'm gonna keep the rear pushing. Just want to bleed off some speed, and then I'll go ahead and I'll notch back up again on the front. There we go. Couplers look good. Slight green on the rear. That's alright. That's exactly where I want it. Alright. So we got a little bit fast. I got monologuing and I got there a little bit fast. So, alright. But anyway, I was saying, coming down the Truckee, there were some houses on the far side of the river, the Truckee River there. And yeah, it's like, I got way down, man. I wanted the train to stop so I could look at this lady. She was out there sunbathing naked. That made my trip. Try to talk my daughter and like, hey, let's go back. Let's go find that house. She wouldn't. Dad, stop. Well, I just wanted to give her a tip. I'll leave your mind go with that. So, all right. So yeah, see over here on the right, this is represented. That's highway. That's going to be 80. It'll eventually come down over the mountain through Truckee, and then come down the mountain. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever make that trip from California to Reno, or come into Nevada, and you come down Highway 80, do the speed limit. Because Highway Department of Transportation, their highway patrol officers sit. I mean, there's like about 10 of them. They literally sit there, and they will catch anybody going over the slightly over the speed limit, or almost to 1%. And notch back up again. I missed the horn on this one. It's all right. Went right into notch 8. So, all right. So we don't have a lot of trains on here. That's the next thing. I'm right here. I was down here. This train spawns down here. There's a little bridge right here just before this light. So this train spawns down here. I've gone all the way over. Roseville's over here. So now it's all about making this climb, and it really starts to make the climb up to about Truckee, maybe about here, and then it starts, or Donner, and then it starts its descent down into Roseville. I don't like it when I come back and I see bounce, bounce, bounce. But we're in notch 8, going 29 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone and a 1.3% grade, and this is just going to get steeper as we go. So these ones were set when you go into the train, or into the AI train generator. They're set for what was it? Utter peon. So it's like they get the minimum amount of power, so to make it up over the mountain. And at 11,142 tons, it's going to take a while. 78 loaded cars, 21 empties. This particular one, I've got, well, there's 3 different spawn points that we're using. And mainly, all the other spawn points are going to be used. There's a lot of other ones, but those are trains that are just pass-through trains. So, next thing we're going to have to adjust is going to be how often a train spawns. The other thing too is I think on the supply trains that they're set to a very minimum. So we can either call for a supply train or they're going to be just randomly selected from one of 3 locations. So each location has 5 different trains. Oh, I was going to say that looks like a detector, but where's the detector box? It's down the hill.
UP detector milepost 232.9 track 2.
So we're right here. It's not showing on this map. Usually they have detectors shown on the map, but nope, there's a detector right here. Oh yeah, defect. Hello, Verdi. So, oh, that's dispatch rate. Never mind. I'm all over the place. Never mind. Just ignore me. How does it know? Let's take a look and see what we got. SD70 Ace on the front. Looks like a pair of them. EMDs, I believe. So we got 3 of them. $11,142 tons. It's only 649. Oh no, that's a 1. 6,491 feet. Okay. I call flat. There's a Truckee River right there. We just went over it. I don't know what's wrong with the water. It's green. It ain't that green in real life. Unless that's supposed to be rapids. Somebody's idea of rapids. I keep pulling. We're gonna probably go a little bit faster than 35, but
232.9 track 2. No defects. No defects. Total axles 426. Train speed 35.
and the G on the sign right there means we hit a grade. We are at 1.4, well, almost 1.5% grade. So we're gonna start climbing, and I'm gonna start. I'll hopefully I'm not gonna bleed too much speed, but we'll see how we do here. Yeah, the vernometer is going to yell at me when I check it, but it's... Here we go. Accelerometer. Telling me I'm going to start bleeding speed, but that's okay. We'll see how I do. Alright, let's see. It literally knew as I tabbed out to go look at OBS. It literally knew. I hate it. There we go. I hit the crossing. I got it. I got it. By the way, if you like the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give me the thumbs up, and hit the notification so you know that when my videos go live or if I'm live streaming, because usually on Saturday mornings I do a 2-hour live stream of Run8, and now Sunday mornings I'm doing a 2-hour live stream of Tower Simulator 3. So that one's been a lot of fun for me. It's got me looking into Microsoft's Flight Simulator. Somebody mentioned VATSIM, and I'm like, ooh, you know, and getting on there, kind of like playing dispatcher here in Run8 with VATSIM. I could be air traffic control, or I could be ground control at an airport. Been watching some videos on that. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll just say it's interesting. I'm not ready to actually do it, but yeah, we'll just say it's interesting. All right, so we are at notch 8, both front and back. I dropped the fence. There's no reason to have it. And with, well, I was doing, you know, 1.5%, but we're still at a 0.8% grade here. Rounding up, we'll just call it 1%. It's going to be a pretty steep climb all the way up. So we've already bled off at full speed here. We've already bled off down. We're down to 23 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour now, at in a 35 mile an hour zone. So, but this train is set for utter peon. So it's got it's got, you know, just 2 horsepower per ton. It's not a unit train. It's not a high quality train. It's just a manifest train. So yeah. So my next thing is, I guess I'll have to go in on my configurations and play around with like how many, or just make some changes to basically, how am I going to say this? So the idea, like I said, the idea behind this is to create a virtual model railroad for a solo player. We're also, you know, and eventually have that solo player come onto this server if they want to and have fun with other Run8 model railroad train enthusiasts, whatever, and maybe get a little bit more instruction, so that, you know, hey, you know what, maybe it's time then at that point to graduate to SoCal, or if you're more from the southeast, go down there to Fitzgerald and Waycross and start working on those maps. But if you just want something that's like where you can walk into your virtual basement, look at your virtual model layout, and go, what do I want to do today? I think I want to work some locals out of Roseville. Okay, then go do that. Oh, I don't have any locals in Roseville. What about Sparks? Okay, I got some in Sparks I can work. All right, the ones in Roseville. How come I don't have any? I gotta push some trains. Oh, I got some supply trains that are in Roseville. You know what? Maybe I'll do that instead. I'll work the hump yard in Roseville. You know, I can work the hump yard in Roseville, and come on. And the way the hump yard for us, the way it's set up, is it is dividing. We'll classify the trains into one of 3 outbound trains. One for HK, which is Hinkle, Oregon. One is OG, that's Ogden, Utah. And one is WC, West Colton. And I'm looking it up, and as near as my research I can pretty much say that those are the 3 closest hump yards to Roseville. So, and I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. Okay, I mean, I could make it Bob's Hump Yard. As long as that train goes to Bob's Hump Yard via the sub, the Valley sub, I'm good. That's all I want. I mean, and I really, the idea is to show how configurable Run8 really is. If you want to stay prototypical, hey, then that's fine. Stay prototypical. But if you want to treat this as, and I use Bob because SP Bob is, he's lives up here on this route, and he's happy to whenever I play on it. Oh, we're going a little bit fast here, but we're also going uphill. I really don't want to bleed off speed because I know I'm going to lose it here. Especially we're going to start winding, and it's going to, we're going to be binding up on the side of the tracks, and I'm not gross. I'm like 1 mile over, so it's, yeah. And we just went from 0.7 to a full percent, so I'm going to start losing speed. So I'm going to keep it right here. All right. Anyway, so I pick on Bob just because, and that's, I mean, he was one of my first subscribers, and he loves this area and he really likes it when I'm on the NorCal servers, or just on NorCal, because it's like me. I mean, he grew up in this area. I grew up in this area. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, so pretty much, if you want to be absolutely prototypical, then you can put then leave the rail tags the way they are, leave the spawn points the way they are, and just go with it. I mean, the rail tags, I mean, all the car tags and everything are based off of what was in use. And I'm going to say and I read something that made me think I might be a little bit off on this, because I don't think each one of them, each map or each subdivision is like this. But basically, if I just rule of thumb, it's between the eras of the era of 1995 to 2005. And so whatever local tags are in use at that time is what I think the default is. But you don't need to do that. Okay, if you want to stay that way, you can, but you don't have to. Let me show you the example of what we're doing. Let me get the car tags up. And let me rotate around so you can see one. So if we look back over here, SP45GEO. So what does that mean? Well, that means, let's see if I can get this. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. You can't really see it because, well, anyway, SP45 GEO, that is a car. SP, Sparks. That car is heading to Sparks. We just left Sparks. But this train, the whole train is going to Roseville Classification Yard. So 45, or is it 54? I got dyslexic there. 54 is the local number that runs out of Sparks, and there's 6 of them. And so we just use 54, 52, 50, 98, whatever, and I just used the last 2 digits of the actual local number that was in use during this era. So SP is Sparks, RV is Roseville. Then you have the local numbers, which it can be 49, 50, 56, 52, 98, doesn't matter what. You just know that those cars that are all part of 56, you're all going to put them in one string. Okay, and then the GEO, that's the industry title. Those we basically left alone. So now you know that you gotta go find the the GEO industry, take that card to it. And then your switch list is going to be based off of your engine tag. So your engine tag could be the same thing. Just put SP56 or SP space 56, and then that way, when you the entire string of cars you have is all part of SP space 56 or just 56, then you'll get your switch list, and then you just got to go find the industries and switch them out. And this way, if somebody is looking at the tag, it makes it a little bit easier than looking at it and saying LRA 56. Well, where's LRA? Well, LRV is self-explanatory. That's Roseville. But LRA, is that Sparks? Or is that Roseville? Where is that? So, and it gets even more convoluted if you go to larger maps with all the subdivisions like Southern California. And this tagging system actually came from a very populated Southern California tagging system that was used since version 2 of Run8. That's what we're using. So, and that's how it's classified when you get to. So if you go out into your virtual model railroad and you go, hey, I need to push some cars over. Well, we got enough tracks in Roseville that it'll separate out the outbound cars into one of the 3 destinations. One's going to go to Oregon, so it's going to go up the Valley Sub. One's going to go to West Colton, so it's going to go west out of Roseville. Or it's going to go to Ogden, Utah, which means it's going to go up and over the mountain and go east out of Hafed, go past the Sparks Yard and head on out, and those cars are gone. So the other ones that are coming in, you'll see there's an SP. So cars that are labeled for SP, where do those go? Well, SP is just the Sparks intermodal yard. So any cars that might, now normally you don't hump those, but in this case we're going to. And then it'll be that you can build a train out of just that SP and take it to intermodal. Is that prototypical? Absolutely not. But it gives you something to do. And that's how it's designed. Whether that works or not, whether people complain about it or not, we don't know. We're trying it. And that's the thing. That's the thing with Run8. You can try different things, and if they don't work, change it. It's that configurable. So far, I'm pretty happy with this climb. We're sitting there with it's a 35 mile an hour zone. We're sitting at about 28. We really haven't lost too much speed, especially with the weight of this train. So left Hafed, started this. I started moving out, and we're about 45 minutes into this particular recording. So we're going to, at about the 1 hour mark, we're going to stop this. I'm going to continue driving this, but I'm not going to record. We'll just stop it, and maybe we'll pick it up later with another record, or just, once it gets into Roseville, we'll say, hey, here's our train that we had in the last episode. Because really, come on the server. We're going to announce when it goes live. Might do it. I'll talk to Beer and see if we're going to do 2 separate streams, or maybe do a joint stream, and at the same time, and that there is a way that people can actually watch Beer's stream and my stream at the same time. There is a website you can go to. I looked into that. Vader heads. That's what those lights are called. They're called Vader heads because of the shield and everything. The way they look like something out of Star Wars. So. This is actually we're doing pretty good here. 1% grade, and I'm holding about 30 miles an hour. That's actually really good for me, to be honest with you. couple spots I did kind of go a little bit fast, but I don't know if it's like within 5 miles an hour. I think I'll take it. So, but Hafed's working. Now I just need to look at the rate of spawns, whether and even the ones that are just pass through for life on the map, passing through Sparks, passing through Roseville, are they going to be going up the valley sub? That'll make for interesting switching when you go switch that into all the industries in the valley, to make sure that you are not going to block any trains coming in, which means you have to look at the sidings and make sure you build your train in such a way that it will, that you're gonna not block anything on the main. It's a single track. The valley sub leaves Roseville, and then it's actually the valley sub that connects to the canyon sub, and that's a map a lot of people would love to see, even though it's just going to be pretty much some industries in the town of Oroville. Other than that, it's just mainline train driving through the Feather River Canyon, and that really could be something very pretty if they do it right. Will they ever do it? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm actually really impressed. This isn't bad. Sorry, I was just sitting there looking out the window. I'm going like 7/10 of it's on 7/10 of a grade. Not, run. I'm on notch 8 on both front and rear. I'm just enjoying the view, just thinking about all the trips I've taken on this route. The first weekend too, where it's going to be over 100 degrees down here, so it'll be easily over the mountain. It'll be a little warm on the mountain, but I think it's the first weekend, so there'll probably still be snow on the ground. I look off in the distance from where I live, and I can see the Sierras, and there's still some patches, not much. I know that they didn't get the snowstorms that they were claiming they were going to get. The year before, we had major flooding in this area, and the mountain had a ton of snow. When it melted off, it added to all the floods that we had. This last year wasn't. We had some decent rainstorms, but nothing that was really terrible. also looking for new assets too. I know that there's, I noticed some in Southern California, and I noticed a couple when I was playing around on down on the Fitzgerald sub and Waycross areas. I noticed a couple. I haven't spent enough time on this particular map because I've been focusing on Moselle and the SoCal sides. But I'm thinking, well, I'm curious about the river over there because I think the river was a little bit darker blue. That looks more green than it does blue, and I'm telling you, that water is not green in any way, shape, or form coming off the mountain, out of the south, Lake Tahoe. Yeah, no, that's not going to be green. It might be the representation of rapids, but yeah, it's not that. It's not that color. It's a deeper, darker blue. I mean, legitimately blue. So, all right. Well, we're into our last 3 minutes, about 3.5 minutes. So this is where I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to start the closing roll. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Once again, if you like the content, please click the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the notifications and make sure that you get, or give me a thumbs up and then hit the notification bell. I don't know what I'm saying. So anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Remember, Saturday morning there'll be a 2-hour live stream of Run8. Sunday morning, a 2-hour live stream of Tower Simulator 3. And then somewhere starting next week, I'm on a 2-month summer vacation, so who knows, you might see a lot more Lord of the Rings videos, especially since I just discovered that there's something I can do. If I have the resources, I can get it done in like 20 minutes, go from 0 to 200,000 reputation on this one thing. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. This is Kurt H. I'm the Lazy Farmer. Have a great afternoon.